It is over for Mr. Beast. I mean, Marques Brownless. Sorry, there's been a lot of names getting canceled nowadays. Marques Brownless was caught going 40 miles an hour in a 35 mile per hour limit road. Can you believe the balls on this guy? I mean, you spend all day reviewing technology, even have a separate channel for reviewing cars. One would think you would be smarter than to record yourself going 50 miles per hour in a 35 mile per hour zone. I mean, speed limits exist for a reason. Why do you think it says 35 miles an hour as the speed limit? You thought it was okay to just go 75 miles an hour for no reason? I know I tried to give a lot of slack the last time we were talking about Marques Brownless, and that's because it felt like the dude had some good bearings. He was grounded. He understood the mistakes that other companies made when it came to making technology and not putting the consumer first. You're not putting the consumer first by being in first place, by speeding at 95 miles an hour in front of a preschool, but this is inexcusable. 200 miles an hour past the speed of light with 2 infants in the back seat while you drive through the front lawn of an orphanage? I mean, who does that, bro? That's a lot of nuts! Before we get into the video, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Into the AM. I decided to record this while doing 150 miles per hour on the highway. No reason, I just thought it'd be funny. Does it add anything to the sponsored segment? Absolutely not. But that doesn't change the fact that Into the AM is already running their Black Friday promotions. The biggest sale of the year. Every single thing on their website is up to 60% off, including this dope-ass glow-in-the-dark octopus t-shirt. I cannot tell you the number of compliments. I've gotten no compliments. I haven't left the house since hearing about the sale. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't go and do your holiday shopping right now using my link in the description to pick up t-shirts, sweatpants, underwear, and everything else that they make over on Into the AM with an extra 10% off using my link in the description or discount code Sumito. Let me start by saying, I don't know what's going on with people. Like, there's got to be something in the water. There are a number of big YouTubers who seem to just be making mistakes left and right, like they're trying to play a game of who can lose their career or online credibility the quickest on YouTube. Mr. Beast, Logan Paul, KSI, MKBHD. This isn't even the first time we're talking about most of these dudes, and this one seems a little bit out of character for the guy. Welcome back, hyenas. Today we're talking about Marques Brownless, and if you're not familiar with why we're talking about him today, don't worry, I will catch you up to speed. Marques Brownless is a tech YouTuber. He reviews phones, technology, fast cars, and many else on his channel with almost 20 million subscribers, and most recently he uploaded a video titled How My Video Gear is Changing. This video is done in collaboration with DJI to advertise their new DJI Osmos action cameras, basically DJI's version of a GoPro, which in and of itself is pretty cool, but it's a clear change of pace for Marques Brownless, who generally never does videos that are sponsored by the company that makes the thing that he's reviewing. Marques has actually spoken out about this because it leads to companies wanting to have a final say in what the video ends up entailing and gives them opportunities to change things about the product based on his feedback. And because of that, Marques has spoken out about the fact that he likes to buy the things himself, or at least offer a situation where the entire video isn't at the mercy of whether or not a company is okay with him speaking his mind. That isn't to say that that's not the case with this video, but the comments underneath this video have made it very clear that they do not enjoy watching a video that is a collaboration to highlight a product because it makes the entirety of the video feel like an advertisement. They got him, boys. DJI has now officially sponsored every tech channel. DJI is the new D brand. This feels like an overlong DJI commercial. We're getting 10-minute ad videos from Marques before GTA 6? Damn. I cannot believe this. I remember a time where Marques Brownless said he would never make a fully sponsored video. Now here he is, an entire 9-minute video that is just a sponsor. People point to Sponsor Block, which is a widget plugin that people use to be able to see the sponsored segments of YouTube videos so that they can skip over them more efficiently, and it blocks out basically the entire video, marking it as a sponsored segment. Now listen, We're gonna clown on this entire situation plenty, but for a moment, let's be a little bit down to earth with this, right? The idea of an entire video being sponsored by a company in some regard isn't like a completely new thing on YouTube. I am sure you guys have watched videos that are sponsored by like Airbnb, where the whole video is technically like a travel vlog or something, but it highlights the Airbnb they're staying in. Or an entire video sponsored by Apple or Samsung or Microsoft, where the YouTuber will go to one of their events, show off their new laptops or their new phones, and it's this experience that does encompass the entirety of the video, but otherwise really couldn't exist without working with the company to make that video come to fruition, and there isn't anything inherently wrong with that. But for Marques, it's a little bit different, because he has spoken out so much about not wanting to do videos that are entirely sponsored, because he feels like he doesn't want to be held back by the requirements that a company might have when it comes to the feedback and criticism he might have about their product. A lot of people look to him for being the guiding light when it comes to tech reviews and speaking his mind and giving the pros and cons without worry about backlash from companies, which has happened in the past. Doubly unfortunate for Marques, it doesn't seem like he had any sort of announcement or communication with his audience to say that he would be making a shift from not doing these sorts of videos to doing these sorts of videos. Instead, people were met with a brand new video on his massive channel that they've been watching for a decade, where the entirety of the thing is just designed to highlight a product that he is being sponsored to talk about, which seems completely out of left field for him. This is a completely normal practice in tech YouTube, by the way. I'm sure all of you guys have watched smaller creators make a video talking about their Logitech webcam or their Shure microphone or their Secret Labs chair, and the only reason they're making that video talking about it is because they got sent the thing for free. Which is fine. It means the entire video is going to be filled with a teeny bit of bias, since why do you need to be critical about something that the company is going to be watching and gifted you something for free? But that same level of forgiveness is not owed to somebody who is arguably one of the largest tech YouTubers on the platform, and there is probably actually a large subsect of Marques Brownless' audience that watches him specifically because they anticipate that what he says about the product is going to be his honest feelings, because he doesn't need to worry about if the company looks at him good or bad based on his review, as you can tell from the electric car company that he bankrupted, asterisk, or the human AI pin that he said was the worst thing he's ever reviewed. It's clear that he set a standard for speaking his mind and being honest about stuff that is good and bad. So when you end up in a situation where it feels like the entire video has to showcase the product in a positive light because you're working directly with the company, I'm sure you guys can see how his community might feel a teeny bit misled in that moment. To be clear, it would probably be totally fine for any big YouTuber to do an entire video that is sponsored by companies. Linus does it all the time. There isn't anything inherently wrong with that as long as you're honest about the way that it's being done. But Marques doesn't seem to have taken the time to communicate to his audience that he would be doing a video like this after setting a standard that he would never do videos like this. And so everybody feels a teeny bit misled in that moment. And it's this lack of communication with his audience that was also sort of the epicenter of all the criticism that he got for his wallpaper app just a month ago, where it felt like he released something that was totally not in line with what anybody asked for. If you were to just ask his audience, he still gets clowned about the wallpaper app in his comments as of this week. Okay, I was gonna edit in some of the comments about people talking about the $50 wallpaper app panels that Marques was clowned on when he released it like a month ago. And I don't want to say that he's removing comments, but I swear just the other day when I watched his video on the new Mac Mini, all of the top comments were just like, oh man, I can't wait to buy one of these and then use my $50 wallpaper app to download wallpapers for it. I don't see a single comment on that video or the video before it talking about the wallpaper app. I don't want to say he's going out of his way to remove comments that are making that joke. I feel like he might be, though. Would you believe that the level of authenticity in a tech review that is being sponsored by the company that makes the thing isn't the reason that this is headline news. No, that's not why everybody is talking about this new MKBHD video. The reason people are talking about it is like 7 minutes into the video, which has now been removed, we'll get to it, but like 7 minutes into the video, in like the middle of a sentence, it cuts to a scene of Marques Brownless in the driver's seat of a Lamborghini just gunning it. 0 to like 100 miles per hour. It's like a 7-second clip. And in the side of the windshield, you can see him zoom by a traffic sign that says "Careful, children at play," as well as a speed limit sign for 35 miles an hour. After he hits about 50 miles an hour, he blurs out the speedometer so that you can't see how fast he's going, although it starts blurring it at like 50, so you can tell he's going much faster. Funny, even still, is that this Lamborghini has a second speedometer on the passenger side, so you can actually see that he is hitting 95 plus miles an hour on this 35 mile per hour road, and people are quite upset about this. Now listen, obviously this is terrible. Objectively, it's a felony, but there is something Sigma as fuck about dropping a wallpaper app in 2024, getting clowned on it, and then releasing a video where you're doing 100 miles an hour down a residential road. I kind of think that goes hard as fuck. Oh, I'm sorry. Is the millionaire YouTuber not allowed to do donuts in a hospital parking lot in a Countach? I thought we were in America. I did some research into how traffic signs work. Evidently, the sign that says "Be careful, children at play" isn't like an actual thing. Like, you're not gonna get an extra fine in court for speeding in a zone with one of those signs. It's just there as like a "Hey, watch out." Not so much "You have to pay attention to me." You know, it's like a yellow light. It means nothing. But the speed limit sign that says 35 miles an hour, and I did some extensive research on this, does not mean you can go 100 miles an hour. I dropped out of college, but even I can do that math. Overall, the situation was handled about as poorly as it could be. First of all, the fact that you included that clip at all feels silly. I mean, if this was a car video, and for the record, plenty of car videos speed, okay? They blur out the speedometer, but you can tell the car is going faster. Obviously, they're speeding. Obviously, they're doing donuts and shit in parking lots or whatever. I'm sure they take precautions, but like overall, it's illegal to be going that fast no matter where you are, unless you're on like a closed road, which requires like communication with the city, sometimes the state. But the fact that he's reviewing a GoPro equivalent, like you could have gone skiing, you could have gone skydiving. The fact that you decided to just speed down a residential road with speed limit signs available and then use that clip in your video, like completely unprompted. Like it was, like I said, it was in the middle of a sentence and he just cuts to that clip, and it was so jarring that like you couldn't not pay attention to it. About a day after the video goes live, everybody catches on to the felony that Marques commits during this video, and it becomes the top post of r/YouTube, and plenty of people are talking about it on Twitter. Marques then, after so many comments on the video and all this conversation around it, cuts that part of the video out of the video. He removes it using YouTube's post-editing thing that you can do after you upload a video. And it doesn't really make a big difference to the video at all because it didn't really need to be there to begin with. But the clip itself is so funny that they would blur out the speedometer and then completely ignore the fact that there's a second speedometer on the passenger side. To be fair to the editor, who is probably looking for another job right now after this debacle, who looks for a second speedometer? Like, how many cars have that feature? Like, cut the guy a break. But Marques cuts it out of the video, and then he posts a pinned comment under the video saying, "Cut out the unnecessary driving clip that obviously added nothing to the video. I hear all your feedback on sponsored videos too." Which just kind of feels like a kick in the dick. Obviously added nothing to the video. Marques, I don't think you understand, my brother. That was the most interesting part of this 9-minute long ad. I loved that part. I hear all your feedback on sponsored videos too. Obviously just harps back to the whole thing we spent the first half of this video talking about, with even if there wasn't a felony in the middle of the video that people are giving shit to Marques for, there is still the fact that nobody really enjoyed the video because of this overarching dark feeling that, oh no, his videos are gonna get worse because he's just gonna take the bag now. Marques posts on Twitter as of 5 p.m. yesterday. I don't know what day it is, but as of yesterday. Last video I did something pretty stupid. You might have already seen it, but maybe not, so I'll address it here. There was a clip with the action cam of me test driving a car and going way too fast, absolutely inexcusable and dangerous. I've since cut it out of the video with YouTube's editor tool. I understand that this looks like I'm covering it up, but I think it's the right thing to do. There's no reason to leave in the clip. There was no reason to include it in the first place. I said the same thing a day after he already said it, so I don't know why I'm saying it like that. And I would never want to make it seem okay by leaving it in the video. I'm well aware of the Streisand effect, and I know everything on the internet lives forever, but I think it's the best decision right now. All I can do is apologize and promise never to do anything close to that stupid again. That's a terrible example to set, and I'm sorry for it. Unpopular opinion by SumitoMedia. I think every phone review should be shot going 185 miles an hour through a football field. I can't be the only one. I think iceberg videos should be shot while skydiving onto a live battlefield. I want makeup tutorials to be shot in an aquatic tank filled with piranhas. Why is he apologizing for this? YouTube has never been so interesting. I think the fall from grace is really disappointing. Like, it's sad to see. You would expect this out of somebody like Mr. Beast or Logan Paul or whoever else that you know for just chasing the bag. But Marques Brownless is somebody who has made so much money making relatively harm-free tech reviews, aside from his biases with his Apple interviews and other smaller bits of drama. You can generally get, he's like in the most profitable niche possible. You have justification for buying some of the coolest tech on the internet. Your videos probably get the highest ad rates. You get more money per view when you're doing something like a tech review, and you get so many views to begin with. It feels so silly to completely throw all of that out of the window for like a one-time sponsorship situation, even ignoring the whole speeding in a Lamborghini thing, which again, for the record, I think is sick as fuck. But the sponsored video situation's like, why? He already got a lot of slack for the Panels app not being super great, but he did make a bunch of reversions to that and then listen to people's feedback on the situation. But I just do not see how this, like, you're in such a good position and it feels like you're just squandering it over money. Like, don't you have enough of that already? Whatever. Let me know what you guys think of this situation in the comments. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. Please click the link in the description and buy yourself some cool stuff from Into the AM. You get 10% off with my link. A big shout out to the patrons scrolling in the back, and I will catch you guys on the next video. Peace.